So as an IT company, we use lists all the time for warranty reports, asset reports. They're extremely useful way to keep track of data within your organization. So I'm going to create a list. And again, this is something where if it makes sense for your organization, I highly encourage you to use one of the Microsoft templates. They're super organized. These templates also make it easier for when you're adding in Excel data. It's just more standardized and there's less room for human error. So again, unless you do need to create a blank list for your organization, I would suggest trying to find one from the templates that makes sense for you if you're not super technically proficient. But say that you have a standardized list within your organization for financial or marketing KPIs. I could hypothetically, by choosing from an existing list, I could hypothetically utilize a list template that I've already created for my organization, and then it'll just basically copy and paste that with new information. But for today, I'm going to actually use the Asset Manager template. So this one, again, for an IT company, this would make a lot of sense. It lists all the assets. So I'm going to use that template, and I'm going to rename that template to Affinity Asset Manager. And again, you could add a description if you want. I'm not going to do that right now. But when I press create, it automatically appears on the left-hand side. And as you can see, all of these columns here are automatically added with different manufacturers, models. Right now, I don't have anything on the list because I just created it. But for purposes of this webinar, I'm going to add a pretend device just to show you what that's going to look like. It's going to add random letters, status, available, manufacturer. They have these pretend manufacturers here. Make it a tablet. And again, just put in random values and make the due date for the warranty of this device to be on the 10th of this month. All right, and I press save. You can see how that appears here. And I actually want to show you two columns that you may not be currently using in your list format that actually can save you some time and help you automate some processes in your data collection and metadata collection. So here on the right-hand side, when I select Add Column, I'm going to scroll all the way down to see all column types and select Next. So say that I'm adding these devices in from an Excel workbook that I've already created. And I want it to automatically tell me when one of the warranties is overdue. I'm going to name this warranty status. And then here we can see there's a bunch of different options. I want to add an Excel calculation. So I'm going to select calculated. And I'm just going to do a very basic formula. Again, this is something that you're definitely going to have to just play around with. But I just want to show you in terms of how this is actually applied, what it's going to look like. So I'm going to quickly type in that formula, which is plus if, open parentheses. I'm going to find the due date. And then do less than or to today. Open and close parentheses, comma, past due, comma, still time, and then close parentheses. Again, it's a very basic formula, but this is a way that you can automate some of these Excel processes in your list because that's primarily where your data is going to come from. So when I press OK and I redirect it back, I'm just going to refresh really quick and see if it worked. But here you can see automatically that column was added, and it is telling me that the warranty is past due. The due date was July 10th, and now I can automatically look down and say, okay, this machine is past due, and I need to alert the client. And it just automates that quickly, so you don't have to go through and highlight each year on it by yourself. The other column type I want to show you that you might not currently be using is the lookup column. So essentially what this does, it automatically retrieves information from your SharePoint site. So say that I had created a list with different manufacturers that our organization use, or different site assets, or employee names. For purposes of this webinar, for this table, I want to know which employee owns each machine. So I'm going to type in the column name as employee, select lookup, and then getting information from an employee list that I added. When I press OK, when I add the employee tab, it is going to actually show me which employee owns the device. And as I add each new device in from this hypothetical Excel worksheet, which we don't have time for the purposes of today, it'll automatically retrieve that information from that employee list and add that in automatically. So again, this can be used for so many things, but if you're not already utilizing the feature, you're already uploading the information to your site. So there's no reason to manually